Today in Artist 7, we continue our discussions and we will talk about different topics as we do. Probably we will take interviews as well with new talents and experts. But doubt, the thing we talk about today is doubt. We have mentioned it, but once again we will talk about it. Doubts. People will give you a lot of doubt. And when you are a celebrity, there are celebrities in other places. You might not know them much. When they give you doubts, it can amplify. Sometimes, people like the games and people get persuaded by the games. They like to play those games. Sometimes there are obnoxious people. And if I keep it here, if I keep it there, if I just, talk about this thing in that manner, then it makes some sense. But people who are really educated, artistic people, people who want to go deep into cinema, they want to discuss cinema, they want to talk about cinema, they love cinema more, they understand the meaning of it. Otherwise, you can play with anything, the superficial layering or whatever it is. And sometimes it is part of politics, it is, a lot of fun thing to do for many people. But that should not affect the story you are telling. That is what we discuss, But there are obnoxious people. Sometimes they pretend to be professionals, and in a way they are professionals in their way. But what happens is they find new people and they send those people, and suddenly maybe you know one person, that person has been there for a long time, and suddenly they are coming with new things. And you tend to believe in that, you tend to trust that, and you think that they have become smarter, they are thinking about something new, they are talking about something new. So you take some wrong decisions. And I can talk about all these things in different ways, but people who get it, they get it. But what I'm talking about is, if I talk about the gist of it, people will give you a lot of doubts. And sometimes the doubts can be amplified. So you don't go for that, rather you go for new stories and new ideas and new ways of telling stories, what we are talking about. And, if you talk about cinema, especially independent filmmaking, where you have a lot of opportunities to deal with different ideas in different ways, different characters, different plots we talk about, So you have, less of a burden, if I say so. Or maybe you have your own way of doing things, and you have your choice of people, you have your own kind of environment you have created for yourself, so that you can make your movie in your way, and you understand what I am talking about. So you can go with different stories, you can go with different ideas, but ultimately if you look at it, people and stories, you go out, you get different ideas for stories. I have mentioned it many times, so it is not something new. You take a notebook, you go out there, you write in your journals. It can shape you as an actor, it can shape you as a director, it can shape you as an artist, it can shape you as a filmmaker, it can shape you as a producer as well, because you want to produce that story, you want to talk about that story. Maybe no one else is producing that movie and you are producing that movie. Even if you are not producing that movie, maybe someone who can produce that movie, who has inclination for that kind of topic or that kind of subject. So maybe you are referring to that person. So we can create that ecosystem, we can have all these people, once in a while that person will come with a new idea, we will find a new person who will produce that movie, or maybe one person is looking for that kind of script and we are arranging a meeting and we are making it happen. Different things. You want to do it yourself, you want to go for some other person. In many ways we can do that. Festivals, you can go for distribution, you can go for networking, you can go for different people who can help you, take your movie to a larger audience. If it deserves it, obviously, and that is a big thing. If it deserves it, it can go for a larger audience. And that's why we talk about strict standards, and many people don't understand your strict standard, my strict standard, what is the difference and what is this and that. We won't go for that argument. We won't go for those arguments because we don't like to go for those arguments. And I also don't allow someone to use my name for those arguments. That's why people can reach out to me if you have any doubt, if you need some suggestion. You can directly reach out to me. You can send a mail. We will share a mail also, so that you can reach out, or maybe in a way you can contact. But best is to reach out so that we can revert back to you. We can have a lot of arguments. We can have a lot of discussions. We can have a lot of criticism. That can be for making a better movie. That can be for shaping the filmmaking fraternity. That can be, coming up with different ideas and stories. Finding new talents, finding new directors who can come up with great stories, who can make great movies, and who has the potential, who can become a great filmmaker one day. So these are the things we don't talk about, but these are the things that have been there for a long time. And when you come to this profession, when you aspire to be a filmmaker, when you aspire to be an actor, you are giving a lot to this profession. You are giving a lot to this art, to this craft, in your preparation, in your study, in your practice, in each and every way you are giving a lot. Many people don't understand it. They want to look good, they want to sound good. So what happens is, sometimes maybe the only thing they can come up with is criticism. So when you do something, people will criticize you. If you do something good, they will criticize you even more, And should you not do it? You should do it even more. Because that is the reason we are doing these things. We all know, how to make a great movie. People who are related to these festivals, or filmmakers who have created it, people who have some idea about it. But why we are doing these talks? It is not about the talks. We need talks, we need theories, we need criticism. We need filmmakers who can actually make those movies, because talks are talks and films are films. They can shape each other, they can nourish each other, they can nurture each other, they can help each other, they can criticize each other. You may not like it, you may have a difference of opinion, but still we are learning from it, how we can make a better movie, how we can find a new approach to make a movie. We can find a solution for a different problem. We can find a new way of telling a story. So all these things we can do. But again, I will come to this, people and stories. You understand humanity, you understand life, you explore life, tiny little things. Patience is very important. Patience is really important, because tiny little things, a subtle moment of life, we are introspecting. Maybe we don't want to show it to people, but when you have a movie, when you are writing about a movie, that is what it is, We are talking about those conflicts, we are talking about those moments, we are talking about those characters, So we are coming up with stories, and when people go to the theaters, when people are experiencing that on screen, we are sharing a moment of life together, communal experience in the theater. And maybe we are very busy. For other people who are coming to cinema just for the love for cinema, passion for cinema, cinephiles, new critics, people who can be filmmakers one day, they are going to the theaters and they are looking at a moment of life on screen. Where will it come from? People who are delving deep into these things, they are coming up with new stories and ideas, they are making those movies. And then we are filtering those things so that we can show it to people, and experiencing that is quite a big thing. And people who are very busy with their schedules, their life, they are going to the festivals, they are going to the theaters, and they are experiencing a new movie. They are talking about that movie. They are also doing their own research. They are also criticizing in their own way. Some people can do it, some people can write a book, some people just do it for the sake of it, they love to do it. And that is the thing, cinema. They love cinema, they want to talk about it, and it's so much fun. Now, there are people, if I talk about one thing, people will find 10 more critics for that. But art can be an obsession, art can be an obsession. So, feel good and art, what is the difference? We can talk about it, and we understand it, we can talk about it, and maybe we can show it through films even better. Intellectually, emotionally, and artistically, we can talk about a lot of things. And the best thing is, we don't talk about films much. Sometimes when you criticize films much in a deeper way, people laugh at you. This guy has gone out, this guy has gone mad, this guy is talking about rubbish, this guy is talking about shit. It might not matter to you, but it might matter to someone who is aspiring to be a filmmaker, who is wanting to know more about cinema, who is wanting to know more about how they can pursue cinema, how they can criticize cinema, how they can understand cinema a bit more. Because if you look at the techniques, if you look at how to shoot a movie, it is very easy. You have a camera, you are shooting, you are gathering people, you are doing, finding actors, they are doing their acting, you are decorating your sets, you are bringing people, you are doing makeup and hairstyles. Oh, everyone is doing that. But why your story is very different from that story? Why your direction is very different from that direction? Why your cinematic experience is very different from that cinematic experience? Those things we talk about. There will be criticism, there will be a lot of critics, people who don't understand it, they can criticize, because it is very easy to come up with an opinion, even if you don't understand it enough. But we are not talking about all these things here. And people will try to poke you so that you give a reaction. People will try to poke you so that you, go for an argument. And that is a fun part. We do that. But for artists, people who want to come up with new stories, new ideas, new way of making movies, people who want to make great films, different ideas, a beautiful story, we are glad to be a part of it. People who want to do that, what you can do is, don't give in to the doubt. Don't give in to those doubts, rather talk about films. If you are a celebrity, find your social circle. If you are a celebrity, find your close circle, where you can talk about films in that way. And also, commercial aspects. Talk about that, the artistic aspects, intellectual, emotional, artistic, cultural, commercial, everything. Talk about all these things. How we can shape it in a better way, so that we can experience cinema in a better way in the coming years. That is why we keep doing these discussions, but people who have been in cinema, they understand it. People who do cinema, they understand it. People who love cinema, who understand it. But there are obnoxious people, there are people you understand but you don't talk about it. Maybe if I talk about them, there will be critics coming after me. There will be people coming after me, but I never talked about them. Suddenly I need to talk about them. Suddenly I need to talk about that, so that you have some idea about that. But also people will do that, the way he is talking, mannerisms, and the way he is doing that. People will come up with those criticisms. But the fundamental thing, or the basic thing, if I talk about, you understand it, but still I will mention it. If I talk about these artistic cinema, or art house films or independent films, we don't give in to those doubts. We don't give in to those shallow things and those things. Even if you are a celebrity, or whatever celebrity you are, we don't give in to that. It may sound good, you may like that person, you may have a preference for that person, you may have a liking for that person for different reasons. It can be there. But when we are coming to make a movie, it should be something different from that. In each and every step, from idea to script to exhibition. Some people can help in exhibition, but the best thing is to respect the movie throughout the process. So you know what I'm talking about. And if you do that, you'll come up with different things. A lot of new ideas, new scripts, innovative things. And you can experiment with cinema a lot. And it's a lot of fun. You have to understand that. Experimenting with cinema in a good way, it's a lot of fun. That's what we enjoy, talking about. So go for that.